I had to come back for the outrage that the world is having now over what's going on at Amazon. Also, I'm sorry for going AWOL for a week, but that will be explained in a video coming up soon. Also, hopefully a short that I will upload also. I don't know the order of anything. But anyways, in case you missed it, Amazon now has a new policy about its Kindle and the books that you're going to read and download. So I'll put an article into the description box below, but essentially what it means is that you won't be able to download the Kindle books that you buy onto your computer anymore. I have never used this feature in my life, but apparently people would buy a book, download that book onto their computer, and now they have that book and it's theirs forever, because if it's on your computer, they can't just like take it away from your Kindle, which is actually really smart because, as we all know, Amazon controls your Kindle, or maybe you didn't know this, but Amazon controls your Kindle. Even after you bought something, even after you think like it's what you own, they could still go ahead and like update the book that you bought and change the version and stuff like that. So this was actually a pretty handy dandy thing that people used to do. Now, why have I never used this in my life? Because I don't buy ebooks. I mean, this is just simple. Like, if I was going to purchase something, and I know they're different prices. I know Kindle books are like half the price sometimes or whatever, but if I want to purchase something, I want something that I have, that I own, that is mine, that I could physically hold in my hands if possible, right? And that's just not an ebook. I know this is like a personal experience for me, but if I was going to buy books, I want to buy the physical copies. Always. Or I just don't want the book at all. But since I travel, if you know, I am traveling. I'm actually currently in Chile, in the south of Chile. It is beautiful here. Look at these photos. I mean, that's insane. So because I'm traveling, I actually don't have any physical books with me. I just have my Kindle. So what do? I use the library. And that's kind of what this video is here to talk about, because everybody's freaking out. Everybody's losing their freaking mind. And like, for a good reason. I understand. Like, you bought something, you own it, or like you think you own it, and then you find out, no, wait, actually you don't own it. It's not actually yours. It's actually still Amazon's. It's kind of just like on loan until they decide that they want to take it back, or they want to give you a different version of it. This video popped up for me by Leena Norms, and basically she was reading a book and she loved the foreword. She thought it was amazing. I think she said it was Handmaid's Tale she was reading, which also very good book, but also like a terrifying book that gave me nightmares because it just felt way too real, like it could actually happen. But she was reading it, and then a couple days later she's like, hey, I actually want to check out that forward again. I really liked it. And she went, and it was a different cover, a different forward. Like, Amazon had just updated it, which is kind of awful. It's like someone taking the book you were in the middle of reading and just like swapping it with like, oh, it's the same book but like a totally different version of the book. Like, I was actually like, oh my god, I would have been so pissed. Like, you want the same book that you were reading, the comfort of like, no, it had the same dust jacket, it had the same bent pages in different places, it had the same words, it was the forward by the same person. Like, I cannot believe that happened. So like, yeah, it was kind of terrifying. But this video is to negate that just a little bit by saying, maybe don't buy the ebook, maybe rent it from the library. And that's kind of like why this channel is called Borrowed Books, because all I do is borrow books. That is my thing. And actually, all I do is borrow books, and then I don't connect my Kindle to Wi-Fi, like, until I'm fully done reading the book and I'm ready for my next one. Amazon can't touch me if I'm on airplane mode. Like, yes, I know Amazon's like all powerful. Jeff Bezos is like, gotta come get you while you're sleeping or whatever, but he can't really touch you if you're on airplane mode. You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of safe. So that's kind of like the push. The push is like, borrow more. You actually don't own it if you borrow it. Like, and then and you're fully aware that you don't own it, because if you think you own it and then you find out you don't, that's awful. But like, I know I don't own my books. I know they're just gonna disappear, and I'm okay with that. That is the reality of the situation that I'm in. That dirty window's not mine. It's the Airbnb's fault, by the way. I mean, they should have really washed their window, But it looks over into a parking lot, so people are walking by, so I'm getting distracted. but it also looks over onto some really nice mountains. So yeah. Anyways, so let me give you a brief rundown of like how I borrow a book. Okay. So there's something called Libby. Libby is a fantastic, fantastic app. You need a library card and you might need to live in America, although maybe not. Maybe it actually connects to other UK libraries. Can people tell me if it does? Because, or like, I'm just saying UK because I have a lot of viewers from the UK, but I mean all over the world. Like, you might just be able to have any library card, but you have a library card. You upload your library card onto the Libby app. You could have a ton of library cards, by the way. Like, if you happen to have one from your college and then one from just like your local library and then another one from like your county or whatever, all that could be on Libby, and then you have access to like all of their catalogs. But yeah, and now you just scroll through the books that they have, type in anything that comes to mind, and now you have the books and you have the audiobooks. And you even have graphic audios, which is another little thing that I'm really into right now that maybe I'll talk about a different time. But yeah, now if a book is on a hold list or like there's a huge waiting line, you put yourself on the waiting line and you read something else. And it really is a life-changing thing because this makes it possible to read so many books and not go into debt, discover so many things, because like a lot of times when you're about to buy a book, you're like, wait, should I buy this? Is it worth it? Like, oh my God, wait, like how much like rereadability does it have? At least for me, like I need to know I'm not just going to be a one and done kind of thing. Like, no, I'm going to read it at least twice, But with this, I could just read so many random books that I otherwise never would have picked up. So maybe it's time to stop giving so much power to Amazon and to stop giving so much power to like digital products that we don't own. Like, okay, right now, how do you listen to music? Because it used to be you buy a song off iTunes, but like nobody does that anymore. And if you do that, can you let me know? Because I didn't even know that was possible. But I have a Spotify subscription. I mean, I'm fancy. I got premium version. I don't got to listen to ads, but I used to have ads. And yeah, I don't own this music. I know that. I know if they want to like take off my favorite song, they can do that. I know if they don't have my favorite song, like, yeah, that's their prerogative. Like, I'm under no illusions that I own this music. But then somehow with books, we were all like, well, I bought this ebook and therefore I own this ebook. And like, yeah, okay. I understand where the sentiment came from, but I'm not surprised Amazon's doing this. I'm not surprised. Like, I saw someone said this, but like we're moving increasingly away from like an ownership to like a lending thing or a rental thing, like as a society, right? You don't have ownership of knowledge, you have like access to it. But then I'm like, doesn't that enable you to have access to even more knowledge? Because if you have to own everything, that's kind of impossible. Like, people can't afford that. People don't have the time, money, or energy to like buy everything and consume everything. But if you can rent it, if you can temporarily own this and hold it in your hands, library books also have physical copies. Just saying. I am traveling, so I do not have the luxury of holding physical books in my hand that much anymore. But you still have the access to the knowledge. And I think it's good. I think it's good Amazon said this because it makes us aware of what we're getting into. Like, Kindle books aren't actually owners. Like, it's a digital copy. And you thought that it being on your Kindle meant, well, it's yours now. And you're realizing, no, it's not. Amazon just kind of sucks. But come on, like, didn't we know all that? I guess what I'm trying to say is stop freaking out. And also, like, in case you thought you were gonna lose access to like being able to buy Kindle books. God, why are cars making so much noise? Hold on a second. In case you thought you weren't gonna be able to buy Kindle books anymore, you still will be able to. You just can't download them onto your computer, which, okay, comes with a risk of Amazon just going ahead and taking it away like it did with George Orwell's 1984 and I think Animal Farm, which I just thought was amusing because they're two titles that literally scare us about the fate of the future of society and, the eradication of knowledge and access to knowledge and stuff, and dictatorships as well. But so they can do that. But like, how often does that happen? There were 2 titles that they said that happened to. Oh, and a bunch of Roald Dahl's books. Okay, so what happens? But still, like, you could still get your books. Okay, you're gonna be fine. Like, it's good that people are freaking out because I see where like the desire of people to like actually own their knowledge is, and like hopefully, you know, Jeff Bezos sees it too and takes away this ridiculous policy. Although, like, who actually thinks Jeff Bezos is the one doing this? There's like some CEO. I don't know how Amazon works. Whatever. I don't care about this stuff. But like, there's no way the owner of this like billion-dollar company is actually caring about the tiny little Kindle ebook policies. But maybe they'll actually change. You know, maybe we need this outrage. Maybe we need everyone to talk about it. All I know is I could not stop seeing like the world is ending apocalyptic videos coming up on YouTube and Reddit and all this stuff. And I'm like, guys, start freaking borrowing your books from the library. Okay. It really, really freaking changes the game. It is amazing. And just try it. And if you don't have access to a library, I'm really sorry. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's ways to like buy access to libraries that aren't actually in your area, which, by the way, if you bought books, would still come out way cheaper to be able to like, you know, kind of a subscription based service. You know, it's like a Netflix. It's like Netflix. Literally, you pay per month and then you get whatever books you want, but you don't actually own those books. And Netflix could like take away those movies whenever they want, right? Which they do all the time. They removed Modern Family, and I'm still mourning its loss because that was my comfort show. I just rewatch that all the time. Okay, I think that's the end of my rant about Jeff Bezos and Amazon and libraries and stuff. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are terrified of Amazon's policies and you don't know what to do, sign up for the library. If you think I'm being stupid and I should actually be way more scared and I don't know what I'm talking about, you could give it a thumbs down. Go ahead. Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay? Okay. Also subscribe, because the more subscribers I get, the more I get to blab. And it's very fun to blab. You can even tell me what to blab about if you want. The end.